But more surface mills of our #1 membrane above scrim in our 50 mil product than our competitor would do in their 60 mil product. They get their overall thickness by using what we call seconds or #2 membrane below scrim. We actually use our #1 membrane below scrim. So I dare you to compare in technical data our 50 mil to somebody else's 60 mil. We are a better constructed sheet. We recognize that, and we're a little bit more expensive than a commodity, what I would say, TPO product. But Duane can tell you, because of our prefabrication of our deck sheets and because of our prefabricated flashings, all our curbs and pipe boots and all those flashings are prefabricated. He saves so much labor in the installation of our membrane versus a roll good TPO installed cost. He should be pretty competitive with a less expensive commodity product, even though he's paying more for the material. And then when he's done with the job and leaves it, your investment is actually is more in the material than it is in the labor. And that's something that we feel like is important to the building owner. We have a full line of metal accessories and trim. I think you talked about there's some coping on the roof that's cement or concrete. That'll probably stay. But any other accessories, metal edge, drip edge, gutters and downspouts, anything like that that would be involved in the scope of the work could be manufactured by Duro-Last and all covered under one warranty. Insulation, Duro-Last has insulation. Anything that's bought through Duro-Last is covered under our warranty. Speaking of which, so our standard warranty is a 15-year NDL, no dollar limit warranty. If you check other manufacturers' warranty, we're the only ones that cover ponding water, and we're the only ones that cover consequential damages. Our founder, John Burt, we're still a family-owned business. We're a $230 million company. We're not as big as some of the major, you'll recognize, I'm not embarrassed to say Firestone, Carlisle, those big manufacturers, but we are a big company, $230 million company. We're founded as a pond and pool lining business. Our founder got into, in Michigan, lining fish ponds and pools, so we were never afraid of ponding water, and we're never afraid of consequential damages. We're the only manufacturer that warrants it. Another unique feature I'd point out about our product is our two-way vents. We install one every 8,000 square feet. I don't know why other manufacturers don't. What that allows to happen is condensation that can build up in the roof system. It allows for that condensation to get out. If there's ever high winds and area and situations that might put pressure on that roof system, these two-way vents alleviate that pressure. I don't know why other manufacturers don't follow suit. They should. You'll see Duro-Last has a full line of standing seam metal. I don't think you have any standing seam metal on the project. There are some technical details that I'd love you to look through as far as, again, puncture resistant, tear strength. Do you have these samples? This is our interactive portion of the presentation. This is a typical EPDM product. I think you have white rubber.
Yeah, that's what they
try to tear that.
Same as that, only it's white.
Stick your hand. No, you can even stick it there.
Like that?
Yeah. Tear that.
That's what you got up there.
This is a Duro-Last membrane. Yeah, hopefully, look like you're strong guy. You cannot tear that. That's the idea. I think you've probably been sold, if you have white rubber on there, you have been sold on the idea of white roofing. For us, white roofing is extremely important as far as the economics of heating, cooling your building every summertime. White roofing reflects heat. You will notice significant savings in your energy bills when you try and when you air condition a white roof building versus a black roof building. So this is some literature you have on energy efficiency of a white roof versus a black roof. EPDM for 100 years, not 100 years, 30 years was all black. They recognized the white roof is the way, I don't want to say the wave of the future, but it's the right thing to do. So that's how they've come out with white EPDM.
This hasn't got Teflon in it, does it?
No. As far as I know, that's not an ingredient. Where'd you come up with that?
Well, I worked with Teflon years ago, for 30 years.
In the roofing industry?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think of Teflon, I think of my pots and pans.
No, this was white, just gas material.
Oh, okay.
It was. But it was white, just like this, but slicker. You know.
One thing Duane can attest to is when he heat welds these seams, this has a nice bleed out that you don't get with other manufacturers' products. So when he's welded it together, he's gonna know that it's done. That does remind me, speaking of warranties, there's 3 inspections with every job. His own guys are gonna inspect the job when they do the work. He probably has a foreman or himself is gonna come out after the job's completed, and he's gonna inspect the job. And then we have a factory guy, a territory technical representative that actually comes out, hands and knees, inspection. He's down on his hands and knees. He's not on the ground looking up saying it looks good. He is testing every weld, every detail, curb flashing, pipe boot flashing. He's the one that's gonna give us the warranty. So we like to say we have 3 inspections for every job. Duane picks up the first 2 years of the warranty as an installer, and then Duro-Last as the manufacturer picks up the balance of the warranty. We do offer a 20-year warranty. It's no better than the 15-year, and it does cost about 8 cents a square foot. It's just for those that want that extra 5 years, we do offer that 20-year warranty. But I'm not telling you I'm giving you any better material, I'm giving you any better installation. It's the same. Basically, a manufacturer builds up a bank, and that next 5 years,
It's an insurance policy.
it's an insurance policy, thank you. And I don't want to tell you that my product's going to fail after 15 years. I was joking with Duane today, he's got Duro-Last on his office that's 26 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jerry,
this was 24, I think, or 25 when we had it replaced.
yeah, Jerry Moore's car wash, you know where I got my office.
Yeah.
I put that on 26 years ago and still never a leak on it.
Really?
I've been doing this since '88, 29 years.
Well, now, Duane, do you do carpenter work also?
I used to build houses and stuff, I just strictly roofing now.
Well, I mean, what we had damage under that,
Oh, yeah, right.
you can repair
Deck,
that?
yeah, with decking, yes.
Yeah.
So if I'm remembering what Duane told me about your existing system, right now you have some EPDM and some kind of wood fiber board that's acting as an insulation product, and then you have a wood deck
Yeah.
under the roof.
Yeah, it's 4 by 8.
4
2
by 8
inches
sheets
thick.
of 2 inches thick,
It wasn't 2 inches?
but it's not ISO, it's not insulation.
No, it's not ISO insulation.
I don't know what it was.
And then you have a wood deck.
Yes.
That's correct.
So we could, I mean, there's different ways. Duro-Last can, as its own membrane, recover over that existing EPDM without tearing it off. But with moisture issues and things like that, Duane might recommend tearing off that old EPDM,
It's gotta go.
tearing off whatever that 2 inches of wood fiber down to your deck, and then come back and put insulation on, and then put our membrane on top of that insulation. I don't know if you have local codes requiring a specific R value or not. Generally, 2 layers of 1.5 gives you 3 inches of insulation. That'll give you about an R, almost an R20. And that, where I'm in St. Louis County, that's typically what we do in that part of the country.
You mean insulation for heat and cool for the building? Well, see, there's about a 4 or 5 foot crawl space.
An attic space.
Yeah.
And is there any insulation underneath your wood deck on the
I
inside?
don't think so.
No, just a wood.
But obviously that crawl space gives, by its nature, gives you some R value.
Yeah, and then there's none on the ceiling. I don't believe it's a web.
So we're on the top floor right now? We have,
No.
No.
Nothing
Okay.
up there.
so you have a drop ceiling, some kind of attic space, and then a wood deck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, insulation, a proposal you could add to and not add to. You know, we, of course, always recommend insulation, but you see many jobs that you don't have insulation.
You need a certain amount for recovery board, but then you can add to it for R factor.
Although if you were tearing all the way down to the deck, you wouldn't necessarily have to have a recovery board or a slip sheet. You could go right back onto the existing wood deck. And as you mentioned, you might have to replace some of that decking if it's deteriorated.
Yeah, we have to put like a fan fold or something, but.
Just to make it a smooth surface.
Yeah.
So
It's been leaking a long time.
one of the things that we do to create a smooth surface for our membrane is use a 1/2 inch insulation, what we call fan fold, that Duane's talking about, that lays out over that existing deck. It will give you a little bit of an R value and creates a nice smooth surface for him to work on versus any irregularities that are in the existing plywood.
So, I got here in '98. That courtroom was what, conditioners that was on top, we had finally figured out what was leaking partially and moved them aside and patched it. And that's done back. And it never did stop all that.
Before you get the roof put on, are you gonna have the bricks and the windows fixed?
So
That'd be the best thing.
it would be, that'll tell us a lot.
Now I'm gonna badmouth the HVAC people. There's a lot of jobs that I feel like the HVAC leaks, and the roofing contractor gets blamed for it.
Million of them I've been on.
The bricks are cracked in different places and we can have them repaired.
Those will be tuck pointed?
Yeah.
On the outside walls, or even on the inside walls?
Yeah, the parapet
You have
walls.
parapet walls
even
made
that,
of brick?
Coping
Yeah.
stone
They're-
needs some kind of sealant put on it, because it's almost like a sponge.
Yeah, yeah.
Who is writing up the scope of work? In other words,
Well, I don't think.
are
we've
you
done the
planning
brick.
on running whoever's membrane up that inside wall, and Duane talked about earlier, just terminating it underneath those coping caps? Or,
Yeah, a lot of times I like to come up and over.
I like
It's not
to.
gonna be feasible on,
You mean take that cover, those pipe things off the top?
yeah, and
go
come
up
up
and
and
over your
terminate on
wall,
the outside.
terminate on the
That-
outside
yeah,
wall, and put
encapsulates
those
the
back
wall,
on. That's,
Like I did down at this old gas building
Yeah.
down here.
Yeah.
but that is more expensive than just to terminate it at the underneath side of that coping cap that's up there.
But if the brick's in good shape and waterproof, I mean, that termination, and if you terminate it right,
Yeah.
um,
Would you put those caps back on there then?
well,
Well-
we did down there on that brew pub. Of course, it was a different kind of tile. It's them old, tile. that-
Terracotta type with the.
Right. She wanted to keep that look, so we took all the tile off, wrapped the membrane over, and then put the tile back on, so she still had that old.
I said, I hold your membrane down pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I cemented them all back down with the mortars, so. And the wife, she kinda,
He's a very humble man and doesn't want to brag on himself, so I'm going to
she
brag
wrote
on
down a
him.
few jobs I
Just
did around.
He's been around the block a few times. These are some jobs, Duro-Last jobs that he's done throughout the community, and
That's not all of them, she said that.
Oh, it's a representative list, and it's not by any means all of them. In fact, I have Duro-Last working on a spreadsheet to show all the jobs that he's done since 1988. I've been the rep since 2011, so I've only been here, this is my 7th year. But Duane outdates me by a number of years. And is one of the original Duro-Last installers. And comes highly recommended by both me as a rep and the manufacturer.
Duane, you don't have bunker to bunker on here.
No, I said, that's not all of them.
Oh.
She said that's about a fourth of the job she had.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if she didn't have cooked coal on there. We did some roofs out there a couple of years ago, they're 150 foot in the air.
Yeah, so I'll throw out some other features too. Obviously, with a heat welded system, you don't have to shut down the building. There's no risk of fire or flames. In some instances, when you bring a hot tar and you're torching down a roof membrane, you have to shut down the building. He can work while the building's in progress. I don't know whether you don't need any scaffolding around the building or anything like that. You'll have some kind of roof access. Material would come to him, and he would get it here and probably boom it up and work right off the roof. The tear off might have some inconvenience for some folks. I don't know how you would get the old EPDM off the roof, whether you'd have some chute system, whether you would just haul it down with a crane, set some dumpsters out, some of those logistical things. But generally, there shouldn't be too much inconvenience to people working in the building and members of the community doing business with the community.
Well, they use this side over here and there's generally no one over there before, so that would work good.
All right.
Do you have any questions for us? I do have some business cards you might want to keep just for your
I think
files.
Duane, they're getting a special together for that touch point right now. And then when that's done, or close to being done, why, he'll, state's attorney's doing it. Thank you. He'll get that together.
Good deal.
Real good.
All right.
All right, well.
So at your leisure, I'm gonna have a test next time I'm down. Read through all the information. I threw a lot at you, but I want you to know Duro-Last has a 38-year history in the commercial roofing business. Some of the growing pains that other manufacturers are going through right now, specifically with like TPO products that keep changing their formulations to try and meet a performance point. Duro-Last has done that. We went through those growing pains in like 1985. You know, it's the formulations used now to manufacture PVC membrane roofing are tried and true and have been in the marketplace for 30 years now. And I think you'll be extremely thrilled with the performance of your roof system if you choose to go Duro-Last.
Good.
And choose to use Duane.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Dwayne, be careful.
All right.
Where you gonna move to, Dwayne?
You want your goodies here, don't you?
This is,
Wife's still looking.
oh really? Well, you ruined this, so he doesn't need that anymore.
throw
Well,
it
you'll
in the
probably
garbage.
take that.
He'll be around here, I'm gonna keep my business.
Planning on it.
Oh,
Yes.
it's an old salesman trick. I'll leave like my briefcase here, and then you'll have to call me back.
We don't have to.
You ever watch Seinfeld?
Once.
So there's a story about George Costanza leaving something in the office, so he had a reason to go back. Then he went back, and it wasn't there. It was all mangled, that briefcase. He was trying to tape record, and then come back, and it's a fucking episode. All right, thank you guys.
See ya.
Yep, take care.
Thanks a lot.